Hi, I'm Nicky Clarke. One of the things that I'm often asked is really just how to get body into the hair, and relatively quickly as well. Now you can see that on Megan's hair it's just been freshly washed and it's just been rough dried. So what I want to do is I want to utilize the fact that she's got this very, very strong, powerful fringe, but just to get not only a change of silhouette by getting a lot more bounce and body up onto the crown, but also where this starts to get very frizzy on the ends and slightly dry, really just to put some control and some shine back into that. So the key area for me is really to be able to get some of this body on the roots and the mid-lengths, especially at the top, because I want to start to create some height up there. At the crown, I'm just going to take a few of those sections through the top, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow dry some of the top sections, but I'm starting from the top here. It's not about having soaking wet hair and starting from the bottom. Now what this has done is I've just managed to go through it enough so that I can smooth the cuticles down. It's going to start to have all of that wonderful shine, and while that's still warm, I'm going to put it into a self-grip roller, so that can be cooling down now while they're in. So the thing about it is, in the old days, it was always about having soaking wet hair and then sectioning it off and drying it underneath, and that's fine if you actually want to end up with sort of flat hair, but what we're trying to do here is get as much body in it as possible. So the key is really to concentrate on the areas that are the most important. Most important at the moment is being at the crown area, so that we know that we can just add an extra bit of hair raise in there. That just I'd rather just have a few strokes of the brush so that the cuticles, although they're smoothed down, they've been slightly pushed up before. It's almost that what we're aiming for is a cross between a blow dry and a set, really. I mean, we want to try and get some of the body of a set, but the softness and the spontaneity of a blow dry. So if I take one either side, again, making sure I'm doubling up on the hair raising, just to make sure that we've got all of that body in there. Once these are now drying in, and this is the key stuff, we really want to try and get some smoothness in here. Now, I'm actually going to be using a pair of straightening irons, but I don't want to be using them in the same way that people have used them to get poker straight hair. What I want to do is I want to use them in order to get smooth hair. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take certain sections here, and the fact that actually Megan's got a certain amount of wave in her hair, I'm going to utilize some of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth it through, but I'm not taking it all the way through to the roots, and I'm just putting a bit of a bend action into that. So in fact, what I can do is just smooth that through, and while that heat is on, as we were doing before, put my roller in while it's cooling down. So what this enables me to do is actually a much faster technique of being able to get incredible smoothness and take out all of that frizz, but still keep the body and some curl into the ends. If you don't have any spare rollers, actually all of these can be done by just doing the same thing, but allowing it to maybe cool down in a pin curl. So what you're doing there is you're just actually allowing that heat that you just put on and change the curl if you want, so you could do that as well. So once you've allowed these to cool down, we can take them out. This works, of course, brilliantly well if you've got very, very curly hair as well, because of course the idea being is that everybody has got so used to being able to use their straightening irons, but of course most people tend to use them just to drag it down and make it very, very straight. And this is a way of being able to use it in combination with things that are going to give body. So you can see already, just without doing really too much to it at all, we've got that wonderful kind of shape going on. So if you want to kind of exaggerate that, I mean, first of all, I think it's nice to get a little bit of the finishing cream. I'm using Creme de Luxe here, just on some of those mid-lengths and ends. And as I say, it's quite nice when it has that real tussled feel to it. But it's also nice, I think, if we just get just a little bit more on that top. So of course I've taken some of the very same sections that I took before, and I'm just going to accentuate that a little bit more by just back brushing some of the crown a little bit. You can see it just starts to instantly take on almost a slightly retro kind of beatnik feel. Recently I did the Mango campaign with Penelope Cruz, and of course actually using this sort of very dark hair just kind of reminds me of that sort of look. And the whole idea of having, which I did with her as well, is having that kind of slightly fuller crown, but just everything else just being really strong and easy, so that that can just be sort of thrown around and keep it tussled. So of course it works great just when it's all just very loose like this. You know, you can of course exaggerate it if you want and actually just bring out some of that. And you can also do the same thing by just hiking up some of the top area as well and just making it so that you just have that added detail. If you turn around, it's very nice sometimes just to take that back part and just to put a little bit of detail just in there, and it's just held with a bit of a decorative barrette or something like that. So you just get that kind of feel to it, but it still keeps that real tussled, you know, almost slightly sort of 50s, 60s feel to it. So there you go, the finishing touches. What we've done is we've changed the silhouette. So by making this fuller on the top, smoother, but done it in a very, very quick way. So you have it.